TeraFlex's Extended Travel Accessory Kit for the JT Gladiator contains components that enable Gladiators to have extended travel rear shocks. This kit is included in the TeraFlex ST, CT, and RT suspension systems, but the components are not exclusive to those systems. The kit includes parking brake cable axle bracket spacers, a 16-inch long breather hose, ABS line extensions, and 33-inch braided rear brake lines. To install the parking brake bracket spacer, begin by removing the bolts securing the bracket to the axle. Place the spacers into position. Attach them using the provided longer bolts. To install the breather hose, start by removing the factory breather hose. Remove the breather cap and the clamp from the factory hose and install them onto the new hose. Loosely attach the provided push mount zip ties. Attach the upper end of the new hose by pushing the zip ties into the holes on the frame. Connect the hose to the axle. Make sure the clamp will hold it in place. Tighten and trim the zip ties. It's best to do this with the rear suspension fully extended. To install the ABS line extensions, disconnect the ABS line from the brake line, as well as the frame-mounted brake line bracket. Detach the plug from the frame. Disconnect the plug. Attach the extension. Installing the new brake lines will require bleeding the brake lines. Make sure you have additional brake fluid before starting the process. To avoid a giant mess, we put a clamp onto the brake line, but this is not required. Remove the bolt connecting the brake line to the caliper. Have a pan ready to catch the brake fluid. Discard the copper washers and place the new provided washers onto the bolt. You should never reuse these copper washers. Attach the new brake line to the caliper. Finger tighten it for now. Detach the upper end of the factory brake line, first by loosening the nut and then removing the clip. Quickly swap the factory brake line with the new brake line and start the nut onto the threads. Tighten the caliper end of the brake line. Make sure the line is pointing up. Replace the clip. It can be a little tight to get in, so feel free to tap it in with a hammer. Tighten down the upper nut. Clean up all the brake fluid using brake cleaner. Use the provided zip ties to connect the ABS line to the brake line and then to the rear sway bar link. Also available is the TeraFlex Universal Rear Brake Line Anchor Kit. This is included in all of the TeraFlex suspension systems. After both brake lines have been installed, you will need to bleed the brakes. Included in the written instructions is the manual or pump method of bleeding these brakes. In some cases, it may be necessary to use an OBD scan tool to bleed the ABS system.